So Ashtavakra said, give up desire, which is the enemy. Give up prosperity, which is born of mischief and good works. Be indifferent. Look upon friends, lands. Oh yeah, I remember this. Friends, lands, wealth, houses, wives, gifts, and all apparent good fortune as a passing show, as a dream lasting 3 to 5 days. Clearly, the sage is not married. And so he says, all apparent good fortune. Where there is desire, there is the world. Be firm in non-attachment. Be free of desire. Be happy. So let's look at verse 3 first, because then the first two will make more sense. We looked at this, isn't it? When he says, where there is desire, there is the world. Be firm in non-attachment. Be free from desire. What does it mean? When there is desire, there is the world? Who remembers the two things I said? Who remembers the one thing I said? Who remembers anything I've ever said? So the first thing I said was that this term desire, that desire creates the world, can be looked at in two ways. The first way is the larger picture, where we say that there must have been an urge, a desire, a primal desire, a primal urge in awareness, the self itself. This primal urge to experience itself as if it is something manifest, as if it is something existent, which led to this I then playing as I am. The minute I am, there is the world. Except in the rare states of some meditation, that there is I am, but there is no world. Mostly, when there is I am, there is the world. So this primal urge, this primal desire, at one level has been called this creator, the creation of the world, has been said to be the cause of creation. I wanted to experience myself in this way, in an existent way. I am, and then because I am, then I am everything. When I am manifesting myself, then that which is everything manifests. So therefore, all colors, all shades have to manifest. There is actually no way around this. Like just like white has to disperse into all the colors, in the same way consciousness disperses into all its shades. And if you truly understand this, if you truly get an insight about this, then this question about why something has to happen in the world or other things, why do good things happen to bad, why do bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people, these questions will start to reveal themselves from that insight. It will never make sense personally, but when we look from the perspective of existence, only then can these kind of things make more sense. What is revealing itself is that consciousness plays as everything, in all shades, in all qualities, in all attributes. There is only consciousness. So this is the first. Desire creates the world. The second is the desire which is part of the 3Ds. The 3Ds of the ego. What is it? Duality, desire and duations. Which make up our so-called individual representation. Our ego, our sense of identity. So only when this D is there. What is the basis of this desire? It means that there must be something which is already not me. Only that I can desire. If it is already me, how can I desire it? Or if I am everything already, is it possible for me to desire it? So desire must come as a result of a belief that there is a separate me, which is separate from some other object or some other creation, and I must have that. I want that. So then this me and the world, this is what I asked you, isn't it? Is there ever this appearance without this duality of me and other, me and the world? This inherent play of duality in this existence seems to play out always. So the creation of the world, if you have no desire, and even greater, if you have no sense that there is a separation, there is not a world which is apart from myself. All is my own consciousness, my own being, my own existence. And there are no battles to fight. There is nothing to win or lose. There is no lack. There is no bondage. There are no two. So then looking from this perspective, then we can look at what he said about look upon friends, lands, wealth, houses, wives, gifts, and all apparent good fortune as a passing show, as a dream lasting 3 to 5 days. Where there is desire, there is the world. Be firm in non-attachment. Be free of desire. Be happy. How to be firm in non-attachment? Be clear about what you are. All of these can be a bit tricky, you see. That's why we're taking so much time over every verse so that we can make it clear. Otherwise, there can be this idea that I must now be unattached. If you have to smell a little carefully and make sure that the personal I, the individual I, is not sneaking into this. Whose resolution would this be? That's why I say that many times in the highest of spiritual pointings, in the highest of Advaita pointings also, there can be a great defense system for the ego itself, which can then make a conclusion that I, Ananta, have to be unattached. I, as something personal, have to become unattached. It's not that. What is your true position? Come to your true position. You are that awareness which is aware of its existence. How can that awareness be attached? So, to become unattached actually is a clue to seeing that you already are unattached. If you go back to the blue cat for a minute, so they say the blue cat should not be attached to the milk. Is it? And if you believed yourself to be the blue cat all this time, then you will take that instruction from the perspective of the blue cat. Ah, I will not, it will come, it will pull me, but I will not be attached to the bowl of milk. Is it? I'm not referring to the blue cat at all. I'm referring to you, which is beyond attachment and detachment. So basically everything is pointing us back to the two main things in satsang, isn't it? The two main things in satsang are recognize what your reality is. Recognize what your reality is. And secondly, don't buy into any story which does not conform to your recognition of what you really are. Don't buy into any story which is not true, simply put. Not true means not true about your reality. All the pointings, all satsang, all the scriptures are about this. True self-recognition and dropping of the false condition. Both are ultimately the same as well. Be firm in non-attachment, be free of desire. I made it simpler for you. Just don't believe your next thought. And all this happens on its own. Bondage and desire are the same. Destroy desire and be free. Only by detaching from the world does one joyfully realize the self. Now, there's a beautiful clue in this. Why did the sage add the word joyfully? Because the usual objection to not being attached to the world is that it can feel like I will have a very insipid, robotic life. If I give up my attachment to the world, then it can seem like my existence will become robotic, it will become so plain. That's why the sage said, very strategically, put the word joyfully there. Because no sage has ever reported that my experience has become so insipid and robotic. Why? In fact, when you come to the presence of a sage, you find yourself inexplicably coming to so much joy. So much joy comes to you. How can it come from that which is itself so joyless and insipid? So it is not the giving up, the renunciation, which is usually understood by the mind, almost like a depriving yourself of something. It is not that kind of renunciation. It is only the dropping of the false belief, the false identity that you have picked up about yourself. And then it is not that you contract into this measly object. It is truly an expansion which is beyond any sort of visible expansion, beyond any expansion that the mind can understand. Nothing is outside of you, and yet you are not contained within the whole of everything. How do I explain these words? Nothing is outside of you, and yet even the everything which is appearing does not contain you. It is you, but it is not a container for you. It cannot hold you. That much magnificence is there in your discovery about yourself. You are wonderful indeed. Can you handle this wonder about yourself? Only if you don't try to contain it. Only if you don't try to make a limitation about it. How is Janaka able to say, I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration? Was it egoistic? I am wonderful. Was he speaking personally? Because he was talking about you. I am always only talking about you. You are talking about yourself, actually. All the clues are like this. It's for this discovery. It is magnificent, beyond magnificent. The discovery of the self. Must there be a halo for it to be magnificent? Must there be some great sugary, blissful feeling for it to be magnificent? No. Just in the naturalness of what is. Already you are wonderful. You are one. Awareness itself. The universe is neither aware nor does it exist. Even ignorance is unreal. What is left to know? You are one. Awareness itself. The universe is neither aware nor does it exist. Even ignorance is unreal. What is left to know? So the first part, you are one. Awareness itself. Is this the recognition from all the inquiry, from being in satsang, from the contemplation, from finding out who is that which witnesses even my existence? So this one awareness, this is your discovery. Now, the universe is neither aware nor does it exist. So this is like saying that I am aware of the world. I am aware of sight, smell, taste, all the perceiving. Sight, smell, taste, all of this is not aware of me. So you are aware of the dynamic aspect. Awareness is what you are. Knowingness is what you are. You are aware of the world. He says, neither does it exist. Why? Because he means now neither is it real. Real in what way? According to his own definition, which is that it must be unchanging. What is your experience of the world? Sometimes the world is like this, sometimes the world is like that, sometimes this world, sometimes some dream world. Is it always changing? So what is it which is unchanging? Is this awareness changing? Is this witnessing changing? And you say that this is the one constant. So when he says it does not exist, it is only from that perspective. We have to be careful not to, within the world itself, come to just a verbal denial of the world. So I have to clarify the definition of existence for this reason. Otherwise, many might come to this point of saying, there is no consciousness, there is no being. How you say that? Don't you exist first to say that? To say even anything, to even say the world does not exist, or to say that there is no being, can only be spoken from this perspective that it is not the ultimate reality. Because even being, ultimately for the absolute self, is a coming and going. I am playing as I am, and I am dissolving back into its own source. Even ignorance is unreal. Ignorance is unreal. Which means that even this, from this definition, of course, is coming and going. That's why many times we say that even if you identify as if you are something personal, you identify as an ego for millions of lifetimes. It doesn't ultimately matter. Because the truth is unaffected, untouched by this. It never really happened. It can never really happen that the real became the unreal. The ego never was born. It was just a play of consciousness, a disguise of consciousness, a mask of consciousness. All that you believe about yourself, all that needs a belief to exist, is a mask, is not the real you. It's a condition. It relies on your ideas about yourself. Suppose you lost the functioning of this ability to understand what the mind is saying. Somebody should make a movie like that. Somebody wakes up one day and they wake up in Bangalore, and suddenly their mind starts speaking, in some Aramaic or some Arabic or Russian or something. They're like, huh? Would you not exist now? Of course, your outward appearance might seem very strange to most others who come across you. It's not about the outward appearance, is it? What has fundamentally changed for your reality? If suddenly something changed the switch in your mind and it became a different language.